So one of the nice things about old school HTML is you can learn about it by viewing the source code, but these days a lot of the code is obfuscated. How do you get around that?
So that's a great question. It's actually something I'm going to be going over in my talk a bit, because working with Gmail extensions, you have to deal with a lot of obfuscated HTML. One way, so there's really no painless way to do it right now. You just need to look for patterns and things that they do. Right, so sometimes, regardless of the obfuscation, often there are things that are common, right? So IDs and classes, the names change, but the nesting of certain objects usually stay the same. Mm-hmm. So as long as you can iterate through the DOM and kind of isolate exactly what objects you want to work with, JavaScript, and actually especially this is the situation where jQuery makes things a lot easier, because it lets you refer to grandchildren objects and children of children and nested children in different parts of the DOM. So it does make things painful, but it doesn't make it impossible.
So switching gears a little bit, if you're going to be a web developer these days, what are the essential skills? I mean, is it HTML5, is it CSS, JavaScript, are there others?
So when it comes to web development, what's so cool about it is there's such a assortment of things that you can just become very good at. There are lots of server-side languages that allow you to, because of how big web development is, sometimes you never even need to touch front-end development, right? So I can be a Rails developer and never look at front-end code. But if I want to be, if that's something I want to specialize in, for a long time I was doing just JavaScript. So I didn't really work with HTML, CSS. I did just JavaScript. I think the secret is just finding something you really care about. Definitely staying familiar with things that are new that are coming out in the field, but just finding your niche and keeping current with it and just getting really good at what you love.
A little bit related to that, and this is something that I'm interested in exploring kind of across the board. I've noticed this intersection between web design and web development. Used to be you could be one or the other.
Right.
Do you see those two merging, or do you think that they're going to be separate domains?
So there are special magical people that are good at both of those things.
Right.
I find it's very, very rare, and that's a specialty in and of itself. Like people that are good designers and also do development. I mean, those people are very high in demand, but generally I see them as two different schools of thinking, two different brain patterns are good at development, and then people that are good at design. So I don't really see those merging in the future, hopefully. Otherwise, it's not good news for me.
So last question for you, and switching gears a little bit. You're one of the co-founders of Girl Develop It. What are you hoping for from that organization over the years? Right,
so Girl Develop It has already grown way past the wildest dreams we had for it in the beginning. What I hope for Girl Develop It is to help adults and male or female kind of realize how simple it is to get a good understanding of web development. And whether they take our classes and decide, I want to be a professional software developer and choose to study more, or they take our classes and then they go back to work and they talk to their developers and they actually understand what they're talking about, and can get a little more familiar. I would like that to be the mission of Girl Develop It, to get a lot more adults just around the world comfortable with web development.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.